Welcome back to Fantasy Dad Duo, where I confidently give parenting advice after surviving exactly one good day. Welcome,
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
welcome to the
One.
show. I'm Jack. This is my co-host Jeff. Jeff, how you doing tonight?
What's going on, guys? I'm actually not doing half bad. I will say this: giving good parental advice after one good day, you're probably going to give something good. You know what I mean? Like if you have that one great day out of like all the possible bad ones, that you're probably going to give something good. We've been having some pretty good days. She's been sleeping through the night. Things have been great. But I'll tell you what, she found her voice.
Oh heck yeah, that's always
Oh yeah,
fun.
and it's a whole. I feel like Aladdin, and it's a whole new world. I mean, this is like it's almost like a dream come true because hearing Dada all day long, every day is amazing. I get videos from my wife when I'm at work. I'll get like voice notes from my parents when they're watching her, and it's just that all the time. But when I get home, it's not just regular Dadas. I get screamed at from like across the room, and homegirl puts her entire body into it, and it is the cutest thing in the world, and I can't get enough. It's amazing.
Yeah, that really is the best. I mean, yeah, JJ, he's not really saying dad, or mama yet, but he's babbling up a storm, and
The talking, dude.
he's
It's
loving
all about the
life.
talking.
It's great. Yep.
I'm all for the talking, no matter what kind of talking it is. It's amazing. Love it.
It's the best. You may be noticing my new and exciting background. It
Oh my god, I love it, dude. The curtains have
grandma's
never looked
house.
better.
Yep. And you may notice my teeny tiny beers, and if you're watching the video, I am in Portugal in my in-laws' house, and that is the reason for the change in setup. But we're still here, midnight. We're doing a late showing over here, so
Oh my
let's
god,
go.
midnight. Oh baby, here
Oh yeah,
we
baby.
go. 4 hours ahead.
4 hours ahead. Oh
Four
yeah.
hours ahead. All right.
So let's
Damn.
get into it. We'll be talking about most improved players, players in better situations, worse situations, and then we could do some fun rules that you could implement in your league. And then, of course, we will end with predictions. So let's start with the most improved players from last year. And Jeff, you lead it off. You take it.
So the way that I looked at this was I looked at most improved players that I think are going to be most improved after this next season. That's the way that I'm looking at
Yeah.
it because we were
Yeah.
talking
Makes
best
sense.
situations, worst situations, and most improved. This coming season, out of all the guys that I have, my number 4 most improved is going to be rooting for Bhayshul Tuten, man. There's been so much that we've said about him, so I'm not going to dive completely into him and why I think he's going to be the most improved, but he's going to improve upon what he did last year. Granted, it was his rookie season last season, and he was the RB2. This year, he's almost a direct RB1. He's got a very good situation that he's moving into. And with that kind of situation, if he can hold his head high and actually play to what we know he can, his improvement is going to be tenfold after this year.
I actually was kind of surprised looking at his stats from last year. Only 300 yards, only 79 through the air. Less than I thought because every time he was on the field, it seemed like he was making an impact. It seemed like he looked good. The number that really sticks out to me from last year is that 5 touchdowns. He was scoring touchdowns on one out of every 20 touches.
83
That's
attempts, 5 touchdowns. Not bad.
yeah, that's a really high percentage. So the obvious reason is Travis Etienne is gone. Trevor Etienne. Wait, which one is it?
It's Travis.
Travis.
God. Trevor is still where he was last year. Don't worry about him.
You got me all fucked up with this Trevor Travis thing. Um,
It's too easy.
I guess the real question, Jeff, is: are you worried about Chris Rodriguez at all? Are you worried about
So
LaQuinn Allen?
I will say that I don't know where the hell to put my phone right now. I'm sorry. Somebody very close to my wife and I just gave birth to their firstborn. So it's
Hey,
big news for them. Big news for them. Cute little baby boy. Um I don't I don't see it as much of a worry because I don't see Rodriguez being a guy that's going to put much on the table for what they need. And I think Tuten's the guy that's got the full round. I almost said projection, but I guess the projection looks like he's got the full round table of exactly everything they're looking for. They want somebody who's got the hands, and they want somebody who can just put their head down and blast through somebody, but also find the holes in the defense. And Tuten last year, there was a couple of times where he made some defenses look like Swiss cheese. So I, I'm not going to say that it won't be him because I think it is. I think that's going to play into him being more improved upon what he was last year because it's right there for his taking. He's got a silver platter right in front of him. There's no reason why he can't do it.
Yeah, Chris Rodriguez is not going to take the whole workload. It's just not going to happen.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I think that there's a chance he could take some goal line work. There's a chance he could take a few carries, but Tuten doesn't need 25 carries a game to return on value. He's going in the 6th, 7th round. He only needs 15, and if he gets more than 15 a game, that's all gravy. So I think without a doubt he's going to be one of the most.
He had 83. Players. So he had 83 attempts with 307 yards and 5 touchdowns last season. I think he's going to have more than 200 this year, more than 200 touches. He'll probably have 50 to 70 targets. Is that asking for too much?
70 might be, but 50 I think is totally reasonable. If you're looking at my projections, I have him for 210 carries. I have him for 30 receptions. So yeah, 50 targets is totally reasonable, and Trevor Lawrence is not a guy who loves to check down too much, so that's the only reason I don't have him for more. I think he's totally capable of catching more, but
they don't have a slow gameplay. Trevor Lawrence doesn't like a slow gameplay either. He keeps the game moving forward. He doesn't slow down very often, and that's a game. That's the kind of gameplay I think Tuten falls into very easily. And I'm not just going to say coming out of college, he falls into that gameplay that moves quick very, very well. ETN was one of the reasons why that gameplay was moving so quickly because he's better when the team isn't expecting because he's more of that. I'm going to make up a word. He's more of that jukey kind of running back. So he's more of the guy that just wants to continuously move because the more he's moving, the less they can catch up to him. And whereas Tuten can also do that with his size, if you keep him moving, he just keeps running. And the more he's blasting through that line, the more tired they're getting and the more his gameplay ups. So most improved for me, man. He's 4th on my most improved, though. He's not even 3, 2, or 1. So we're moving on up the ranks. Jackie, who do you got?
Real quick. If you're comparing Tuten to ETN in terms of talent, where do you see those guys?
I think Tuten is above of where. Nope, wrong name. You said Tuten last, and I ran with it. ETN. I see Travis Etienne above where Tuten is, and I'll say it's because their game is a little different because of the jukiness that he's got, and he can move in a different way than Tuten does. But I think mostly for me, it's because of how long he's been in the game for, how long he's been in the big leagues, and how often he's proven to us that he can go above and beyond what people think he can. He's had more than one good year, and with more than one good year under your belt, I think people look at you like it's more than possible. He's more than capable of doing something like that again. Tuten, after 1 year under his belt with some good qualities that were shown, he hasn't actually given us that solidified, this is who I am, this is where I'm at.
Yeah, I agree. If I were to give ETN like a 8 out of 10 talent or skill, we'll call, I'd probably give Tuten, a 6 with ability to show more. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I would go with that.
So first on my list, I'm going to go with Matthew Golden. The Packers, showed some faith in this offseason with Golden. They didn't really show too much faith in him last year, but they didn't re-sign Romeo Doubs. Kraft won't be 100%. They didn't add anybody else to that pass catching room, and they did spend that first round pick on him. Not last draft, the draft before. He's coming off a season where he only had 361 yards. He only had 44 targets. So they didn't use him a ton. But he projects to be on the field almost every play with the absence of Romeo Dobbs. So I think he is almost guaranteed to see a massive improvement just because he's going to go from 44 targets to maybe we'll call it 80 at least.
You think he's going to get an actual touchdown this year?
Man, if he doesn't get a touchdown, they might just have to cut bait and run.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't. To be honest with you, I think the talent's there. I do, and you could say this about any guy because he's kind of just like Tuten, where like last year he showed some goodness. I mean, 29 for 44 with 361 yards. It's not 12.4 yards a reception. Like that's not bad. He just needed a little bit more there to push himself a little forward. You got to give him a little bit more time to show him what he can get and what he can do. I'd like to see a little bit more after the ball with him, after the catch.
Yeah,
after the ball.
After the ball, he's golden. There's some risk there because what's his name? Their third receiver. Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed's a talented guy. He's got a little Deebo Samuel in him, and we know that they just paid Christian Watson, so Christian Watson's going to be their primary guy. So there's a little bit of risk if he doesn't get hurt, which he has been a lot.
I hate saying that too. I'll be the first to say that. I hate saying that about him, but it's a possibility.
Christian Watson has the least games played, the least yards, and the least receptions for somebody to be given over $100 million contract in NFL history. So the Packers are taking a chance on him. And look, if he goes down, where's that volume going? It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, it is. It's going to get. So let me ask you this. Well, the last question that I have for you is that if Christian Watson goes down, is Tucker going to suck in all those targets, or is it going to get spread out enough to where we're actually going to see Golden do what he did in college? Or come close to doing what he did in college?
If Christian Watson goes down, I think it hurts the offense a lot as a whole because I don't think Matthew Golden is a number one. I don't think Jaden Reed's a number one. But you're 100% right. That volume is going to be spread over the entire team. Tucker Kraft's going to see more. Golden's going to see more. Jaden Reed's going to see more.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a fourth option on that team, like a Sevion Williams, who I actually love. I love Sevion Williams, TCU, Horned Frogs, go baby. But if Christian Watson goes down, that team's in trouble. They don't have the depth to survive it.
All right, so I'll say number 3 on the board for me. Number 3 on the board for me that I think is going to definitely surpass what he did last year. Kyler Murray. I'm hopeful because I won't say that I'm tried and true Kyler Murray. I'll just say that I'm hopeful because I'm excited with the bulk that he's got on the receiving end, what he's doing right now. He's never in his entire career had this many good catchers. And I'm going to call them catchers because he's got Justin Jefferson. He's got some good hands. He's got Addison. Yeah. Addison's up there with some good hands. I know I'm forgetting somebody else. Who's their tight end?
TJ Hawkinson.
Hawkinson. There you go. See, and he had McBride when he was in the Cardinals. He had McBride. And there every once in a while there would be a running back that would show good hands and good momentum for them. Murray's the little guy. He can run, he can throw. He's just got to be able to throw over the line, and then he's doing pretty good. He's shown promise before on the Arizona Cardinals. He's shown that he could play football before. I mean, he's shown that he could be a baller. I just don't think he had the actual talent surrounding him to show how much of a baller he could be. And I think with those 3 guys alone, there's more of a possibility that he can move forward with what's going on.
Yeah, I think, it's got to be one of the best receiving cores in the NFL. And on top of that, you're forgetting Juwan Jennings, who they just grabbed late in the in the free agency
Ooh,
pool.
I did forget Juwan Jennings. I did.
And he's good. I mean, they have Ty Felton as their fourth receiver. He's a good player. Second year pro. And another underrated thing is their running backs kind of stink. I mean, Aaron Jones. Sorry, Sean. I know you love Aaron Jones. I'm sorry.
Old man Jones.
He's like 32 years old now, and Jordan Mason isn't anything special. So
Calling him Old Man Jones. He's fucking younger than me. Jesus.
Oh God, that hurts. Don't even say that. Yeah, he's younger than me.
It does hurt, but still. Oh, it's so bad. So bad.
I know. So they're gonna have to throw the ball a lot, which should help Kyler. And then the secret sauce to Kyler has always been in fantasy his rushing game.
Yeah.
Nobody
really talks about it that much.
Yeah, because it's kind of dropped off. I wonder if he's going to come in with, a new set of balls on him, running the ball more, because maybe he took a few years off because the Cardinals sucked, right? Like maybe he wants that new contract. Maybe he's going to run the ball. He's only 29. I mean, he's not over the hill. It's older for a rushing quarterback, but he could still rush for, 700 yards.
That 2020 season, what am I seeing? He threw for 39-71 and 26 touchdowns, and he ran for 819 with 11 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was I think he was QB2 that year.
6 years ago, but I mean, hey, 29 years old. Who's saying he can't do something like that again?
Yeah. So what do you think you have him for? Let's hear a little projection.
I'm gonna say, God, he's got. Now, if Addison has a turnaround, if Hawkinson has a bit of a turnaround, Jennings comes in, I'll say he's got 3,700 passing yards, 28 touchdowns I'll throw him in for 650 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns.
Okay, so that's above what I have him. I have him for 3,700. You hit that right on the mark. Yep. 23 touchdowns and 400 yards rushing. That would put him at, let's see, my QB, 17, which is playable. I mean, if he throws for that 20.
If you're in a 2 quarterback or a super flex league, that's definitely playable.
Yeah. So that puts him, and if he throws for those 5 or 6 extra touchdowns that you had him for, rushes for 200 extra, that'll put him right in the QB1 territory. So
yeah, that's
where he's going, he's basically free.
That's some fantasy money there. I don't even if he had even with the 3,700, the 600 rushing yards, I wouldn't, even with the 5 extra touchdowns, I wouldn't say that he would be. I mean, 12-man league, he'd probably be somebody's QB1. But in a 10-man league, I'd be a little bit more. 12-man league, you can push it. 14-man league, definite. 10-man league, or if you're doing an 8-man, that's cut through it like we are. 2 QBs though, so there's the difference. If you're in a 2 QB league, he's right there. But if you're in a 1 QB league and it's less than a 12, I'm not sure he's in that territory. But who do you got next, Jackie?
So my next guy that I have, I'm going to go to the tight end position. I'm going to go Chig Okonkwo. Chig has kind of been on the border of fantasy relevance for a few years now. He's been streamer, he's been all that stuff, but he's going into a really good situation. He's, Zach Ertz is departing. They paid him 3 years, $30 million. He's got really no competition for receptions other than Terry McLaurin. And we like Jake Daniels. So this guy is primed to break out. He's never topped 600 yards in a season. He's never topped 3 touchdowns. I got him around 805, which is a tight end 1. I'm going to wait in a lot of drafts on tight end. If I miss out on those top 2 guys, which I love them both, I'm probably going to own a lot of Chig this year.
If you don't want to pick a tight end in the first 3 rounds, you're probably going to miss out on those top 2 guys. You're probably going to miss out on the top 3.
Yeah. I mean, You're right on the money. Colston Loveland is going like late third round now, early fourth, which is too rich for my blood. I like Colston Loveland a lot, but I like them as like a fifth round pick. And I like Tyler Warren too, but again, those guys are going so high. You have to take them over guys
I'll even
like
throw
neighbors.
if we're talking those top 5, I'll even throw Tucker Kraft, Harold Fannin. Top 5, top 6 rounds.
Yeah, those are my clear top 6, and the price of those guys is just high. You know what I mean? It's like
it's too much.
I'd rather
seeing something like
Chig.
this, seeing something like Chig in the round that you can snag him in, hard to pass up. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, so tight end is just a tough position this year because you really are paying. Other real values I like Kittle at cost because people are still worried about the injury. I like Dulcich. I like Travis Kelce at cost. But it's a landmine. After those top few, you're just hoping.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
But I will be owning a lot of Brock Bowers and Trey McBride because I do like those guys. They're a true advantage at the position, and that for me that's worth paying up for. All right, give me number 3, Jeff.
All right, number 3 and this would be number 2. Yeah, this is number 2. Number 2, I'm going to say Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba, one of your guys.
He's correct. He's pushing right back to that RB1 position.
That gives me a little half Chuba.
I'm right there with you. I don't see anything else happening for that team in the backfield other than him moving from that RB2 to that RB1. It's pretty much due to a trade, but he never lost. I mean, 23 and 24, 238 with 902 and 5, 250 with 1195 and 10. He went off at the end of the year in 2024. He went off. He had a great year in 2023 as well, don't get me wrong, but he went off in like those last 6 or 7 games of the season in 2024. It's what made everybody open their eyes to him again after the season that he had before that. 12 more carries, just around 100 more yards. I don't see him not doing that again. Last year, he got fucking robbed. I will say this right now. Last year, Hubbard got fucking robbed, and I wanted to see more of him. I think more than just me wanted to see more of him, not more than him. I would say more than 50% of the guys that had him the year before were like, where the fuck is he? Why is he not in? Showed promise near the beginning of the season. He could have done another 1,000-yard season, but then they said, you know what? We're going to put somebody else in. They had a great – well, I can't even remember his name. Who did they put him in?
Rico Dowdle had
Pittsburgh
3
Steelers
games in a row. Yeah, he had 3 games in a row where he averaged like 170 yards rushing. So he performed.
For 3 games. He performed for 3 games, and everybody else in fantasy, along with the front office and those coaches – with Carolina, held on to him white knuckling like it was going to be the fucking last thing that they did all season long, and they made the playoffs, and they didn't.
I'll tell you what, I'm not drafting Chuba this year. I'm drafting Jonathan Brooks like 5 rounds later.
Here we go again.
Because what if the same thing happens this year as last year? What if they hand the keys to the exciting guy behind them?
And he has 3 great games and is basically mediocre mid-tier for the rest of the fucking season. Why do you do this?
Hey,
this is the exact. I literally got
Jonathan Brooks. You like Jonathan Brooks coming out of college too.
I did, and because he had promise and he looked like he was going to be great, and then he got hurt. And what happens to people after they get hurt?
They come back stronger than ever. No,
you're dead to me. You're a dinosaur. You know how that works. It's one of those things. Last year there was an opposite league that my wife runs. She's the commissioner of a league, and one of her friends argued with me all year long that Rico Dowdle was, and this is gonna grind your gears as much as it grinded mine. Rico Dowdle is as good as Bijan Robinson.
Well, that person doesn't watch football.
Is the bullshit that I heard getting spewed around last year. And of course there was a couple of J trades that were trying to be made because they were trying to feed me bullshit, but that's besides the point. You can't, don't bullshit a bullshitter, don't fuck a fucker. Like, it's one of those things that you just can't, you're never going to get away with it. So I think that might be the one thing that grinded my gears the most about Rico Dowdle playing over Chuba Hubbard. So I'm like, I'm a Chuba fan all the way. I'm waiting for him to fucking take over again. I want him to take over again. I know others want him to take over again. I know Brian wants him to take over again. I'm ready to see. I'm ready to have more of him in my life. He went 134 for 511 and 1 touchdown last year. I'd like to see him go for over 230, over 1,000, and over 10 touchdowns again. So.
Yep. So I have him for I have him over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns, 234 carries.
But you want to see Jonathan Brooks, Jack? Why do you do this? Why your own stat projections?
I'm just worried about it. You know what I mean? So I might have him for some pretty good baseline numbers, but I just think there's the chance he loses his job. So at that point in the draft, I'll take somebody with upside. I'll take an RJ Harvey, and then I'll grab Jonathan Brooks, 4 rounds later.
Yeah, that's great. If you want to wait and use up a draft pick on nothing, then by all means,
You want to do a bet right now? God, Jonathan Brooks, 500 rushing yards.
I'll do this. If Jonathan Brooks this season doesn't get over 650 rushing yards,
go late.
If he doesn't get over 650 rushing yards, you trade me your 4th next year.
Ooh.
4th round next year for my 6th round next year. But if he does, I'll give you my 6th I'll give you my 4th for your 6th.
Oh God. Make it 10th and 15th. And you got to shuffle deal.
Why 10? That's such a big difference.
Yeah, but I don't have enough faith on
all of a sudden you went no balls. All of a sudden you went no balls.
5-round difference, Jeff. 5-round difference. Come on. 10th for 15th. 10th for 15th. Do it.
No, because I want something bigger. I want some cojones on the guy that's over here talking shit against his own projections.
I have him, Jeff, for 401. I'm not betting my house on 650.
Oh my God. All right. I'll go down to 500. I'll go down to 500 if you'll do a 7th for a 9th.
Deal.
All right, there we go. Jesus. It's like pulling teeth. If I win, though, it's like taking candy from a baby,
Well, you got some faith in Chuba. I mean, 500 yards. He's got to get half of Chuba's yards, basically, 500 yards. So if you have faith in Chuba, it's a good bet for you.
What's Jonathan Brooks done in his career? God damn it. Stats.
Nothing.
Yeah, I know.
I think his season, his career high is like 80 yards or something.
Now he's going to get like 200, and 120, and I'm going to be like, fuck you.
He'll do it in 3 games, yeah. All right. Stop
Who you got next?
Stop scrolling. If you're not drafting this running back in 2026, you are straight up giving away your fantasy league. Look at the numbers. As a rookie, Omarion Hampton missed time with that ankle injury, but still got 737 all-purpose yards and 5 touchdowns in just 9 games. Multiply that across 17, and that's 1,410. Now, let's add the secret sauce. If he's 100% healthy, and Mike McDaniels, who did some magic with Devon Achane, is calling plays. We're talking about a beast of a running back swallowing 80% of the red zone work in LA. And we aren't just looking at 1,400 yards. We're looking at 2,000 with 15 to 20 touchdowns. This is a tier 1 fantasy break. Do you agree with that 2,000 yards, or am I crazy? Let me know.
I think Omarion he's above and beyond one of the best things that's happened to the Chargers in the last 5 years. I mean, I was high on him last year. I think I took him in the second round last year.
Yeah, you did.
And if he's sitting there, which I don't think he will be, I have the last pick. I have
He's not sitting there, Jeff.
8th pick in the second round. And for me to say the guy that was hurt almost all of last year is not going to be there at the 8th pick in the second round, first 16 picks in the league, and the guy that was hurt almost all of last season will not be sitting there. That's saying something. So fuck yeah, I agree with those 2,000 total yards if he's hurt. If he's healthy all year next year. If Omarion Hampton is healthy all year next year, God, I can't even talk. I'm so excited. If Omarion Hampton is healthy all year next year, this upcoming season, and he gets those 2,000 yards, he is one guy that I will say it will take 1 year rather than multiple for people to be like, he's the real fucking deal. This is who I want.
The thing I always come back to with Omarion is if Jeanty wasn't in that draft class, people would be thinking about him differently. Because Jeanty went so high, and they're like, oh, he went 20 picks later. He must not be that good. No. Omarion Hampton is the whole freaking package. He's a beast.
It's still just to say they're both going to be gone in those first 16 picks of our league.
Oh, 100%.
Those first 16 picks, both of them are going to be gone. It's just a matter of who goes first and who goes second.
And it's a 2 QB league, so that's a league where QBs go high. So that's like they're both top 21, I think, in ADP right now. But in a 2 QB league, they're both top 30. So going top 16, we are paying up. We believe in these two guys, and I believe in the Chargers.
I think the Chargers they're coming in hot. They're coming in hot. They're ready to play.
All right. Who's your next guy, Jeff? Your number one.
My number one this year is David Njoku, the Chieftain, baby. I think he's coming in fucking hot. He's coming off of not so good of a year last year because he was outshined by Harold Fannin of Bowling Green. He was outshined last year. He went 33 for 48 with 293 yards and 4 touchdowns. Year before, he was at 505 with 5. The year before that, he was at 882 with 6. So it's been a trickle down the whole time. This season, I think, is the season that he comes back to play because he is another one that's on the team that we were just talking about. He's on the Chargers, and I think he's going to give Gadsden a fucking big run for his money because, number one, he's pissed that he lost his TE1 spot to a rookie. This is just, I don't know if he's actually pissed. This is just me. My projections, what I'm saying. So if Chieftain and Njoku, I apologize if you're not actually mad. You can join us on the podcast whenever you want. I envy you. You're a great fucking tight end. I think Njoku was coming in with a fucking plan with what he wants to do. I think he's coming in hot. I think he's ready to go. I think those hands are ready to fucking catch some footballs, man. I would like, 33 receptions, 4 touchdowns. That's not terrible.
No, Chief Njoku is a premier red zone threat.
100%.
He may have lost a little bit of straight line speed, but the guy is still a crafty vet who is a massive human being. There's no reason he can't take that red zone target priority from Quentin Johnston or Trey Harris or Ladd McConkey or Gadsden by the balls and just be that number one receiving option in the red zone.
Yeah,
I think it'll be Omarion Hampton. You know what I mean? I think they want to run the ball. But as far as a receiving option, why the hell can't Njoku catch 10 touchdowns next year? Why can't he be this year's, what's his name, Dallas Goedert?
I'll say this. I wouldn't put it up as 10 because he hasn't gone past 6 his entire career.
He's been on the Browns, though. The Browns stink.
You know, you're not seeing that, and there again, you're really not wrong. I mean, he's got. I'll say this: he's got the talent to do it. He's got the hands to do it, and he's got the height to do it.
He's a monster.
He's
What is
he's
he?
a he's a
6'5",
big boy.
6'6"?
He's a big boy. He's a big boy, and I would love to see him come back strong because everybody loves a comeback story. So I won't push and say comeback player of the year, but I wouldn't say it's out of the cards.
It's a possibility. I mean, the NFL usually goes for the feel-good story over the stats. So maybe not, but there's no reason he can't catch 10 touchdowns. I wouldn't set him at that, but I mean, I think he's a better player than Gadsden. Gadsden might be a little bit flashier, but I think
I
he's a
think
better
Gadsden
player.
is still young. He's still young, and everybody likes the new toy.
Yeah.
But I think Njoku's got way more of a tight end package there because he knows how to block. He knows how to be a blocking tight end as well as being like a receiving tight end. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. I'm very excited to see where he's going to go, and I'm very excited to see how they're going to use him. Either way, I think he's going to have a good year no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. So my next guy that I'm going to go for is Cam Ward, and this is a bit of a fun one because I think you could draw the Cam Ward Josh Allen comparison pretty easily, and I'm not saying that Cam Ward is Josh Allen, but I am saying that he was a highly touted draft pick who disappointed in year one, who has all the physical tools, who has now a new situation that includes Brian Daboll, because Brian Daboll is the one who unlocked Josh Allen, and Brian Daboll also unlocked Danny Dimes. So I see Cam Ward coming in, rushing the heck out of the ball, and throwing a lot more touchdowns to that improved receiving core. You know, we like Harnell Tate, we like Wendell Robinson, and we like that rushing upside. So I see a massive improvement on 3,200 passing yards, and he only rushed for 150 on the ground. Why isn't that 500-600?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that RB1 situation is a little foggy right now as well on that team. So I think he's going to have a little bit more on his shoulders for the running game this year. And it's not that he's not capable of it. I want to see it. I want to see it happen. And I'm wondering, like you did, why didn't it happen last year? Those numbers are absolute dog shit because he's definitely capable of way more. I'd like if so. Let's put it this way: if they get their rookie Nicholas Singleton in there and he's the starter for them, I'd like to see how well those two play off of each other for the run game because I think it would be possible for the two of them to push each other to both be over 500 or 600 in a season.
Yeah. In the new regime with Salah and Dayball, they're gonna want to run the ball. Tony Pollard does not strike fear into the heart of defenses.
Not
But yeah,
anymore.
Nicholas Singleton has some juice, and if they have multiple rushers, yeah, they could be a good rushing offense. All right, so let's move on to our next segment: players who are in a better situation than last year. This a lot of times goes hand in hand with having bounce back seasons. But Jeff, why don't you kick it off with one of your guys and talk to me about it?
I'm going to bounce it in. Fourth on my list is one of my guys that I've been tried and true with his entire career, Rachaad White. He's the trade to the Commanders, I think, is going to be a very, very big thing for him. And I've said this to a couple of guys that I work with in the past couple of days. So the way that they went last year was the Commanders went towards Krosky Merritt. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad running back at all. I think he's a great running back. I think he had a good rookie season. A lot of rookies that came out to play last year. A lot of running back rookies that came out to play last year. I think Rachaad White there, he takes all of the receiving for running backs on that team, all the targets that Jaden Daniels is going to use towards his running backs, which Jaden Daniels, scrambling quarterback, he likes to run. So passing for running backs is very, very big on that team. It's very important. I think Rachaad White takes it all because he's got some hands on him, man, and he's proven that in past seasons. Last season it was a little bit down. Irving got hurt, and I think I'll say this about what I've seen from White while he's played with Irving. I think Irving shows a little bit of a different side of White that makes him play better when Irving is healthy rather than when Irving is hurt. When Irving is hurt, there's too much of a play load on White's back, and he's only provenly good at a couple of different things. Now, he's good enough at those things that he can excel very well. But if there isn't anybody else there for him to bounce off of at that backfield, I don't see him being in the 500 to 700 rushing yards and 400 to 600 receiving yard seasons. I think he's highly capable of doing it. I'd like to see him bounce off of Krosky Merritt, and I believe they still have Eckler over there in Washington, correct?
Eckler's gone. They drafted Katron Allen, whose nickname is Fat Boy.
Katron Allen. Okay, so Katron Allen, Fat Man. Katron Allen is the other rookie that came out of Penn State.
He was a boy and now he's a man. I don't know.
We'll skip over that joke. Everybody do it. Let's do a little bit of a replay. So Katron Allen, another one of two running backs that got drafted out of Penn State from last year. He's not bad. He's good. He's got some moves to him. So put the three of them together, and I'm not going to say it's going to be a community backfield. They're not going to make community backs out of all three of them. I do see Krosky Merritt and Rachaad White possibly playing well off of each other, but I don't know if there's going to be much rushing between the three. I mean, out of all three of those guys, just because of the fact that Jaden Daniels likes to move. He likes to run the ball himself. So I think being the receiving running back is going to be a larger option for those guys. And Rachaad White has proven already that that's one of the things that he's good at.
Yeah, I don't think Bill is very good. Bill. I don't think Bill is very good, but that's Krosky Merritt's nickname. And I have no faith in Katron Allen. So my pick out of that backfield is Rachaad White, and I think he can do more than what you're saying. I think there's no reason he can't take the rushing work too. They were giving it to Eckler, and Eckler's he's old. He was.
The only thing that I'll say about everything that you just said is I'm not high on Krosky Merritt either, so I'm not going to say anything against what you said with him. I could do with or without him, no big deal. That's nothing against him. I think he can play very good football. I just don't think what they had fit him last year. So unless they change things to fit what he's good at, but it won't because Daniels is a running quarterback. So the only thing I will say is that Katron Allen, don't sleep on those boys from fucking Penn State, man. Those running backs from Penn State, you can't fucking sleep on them. Can't sleep on them.
I have more faith in Katron Allen than I do Krosky Merritt. And I have more faith in. Yeah, so we're on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the same page. So, Rachaad White, I think he's in a very good situation for this upcoming season. Who do you got?
So you said stop sleeping on those Penn State boys. I'm going to say stop sleeping on DeVonta Smith. The A.J. Brown era in Philly is over. People are underestimating what's going to happen. With A.J. Brown traded away, those are 120 target opportunities. Now, for 3 straight years, DeVonta Smith.
I thought they didn't throw to him. They actually threw to A.J. Brown? Oh, I thought they didn't throw to him. That's my bad.
120 targets. Oh, yeah, because he's being a diva in the news.
Yeah, that's true.
So DeVonta Smith had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons as a number 2. Actually, not 3 straight, but he had 3 1,000-yard seasons as the number 2. What's he going to do as the unquestioned alpha? He was sharing the field with a superstar, with a rushing quarterback on a rushing team, and still putting up 1,000 yards. As the alpha, he's going to smash that.
Yeah,
what do you think about
very
well?
100%. I think he's going to do very well this year. I think I'm excited to see now. Okay, pump the brakes a little bit for me. Tushy Pushy needs to fucking throw the ball in order for him to actually get to where we think he can go, where we know he can go. He's got Barkley behind there. Barkley's going to, through and through, don't sleep on those Penn State boys. He's He's a fucking runner. He's gonna move that ball for him. But I will say this: Smith is way more than just a downfield threat. He's an all over the field threat. He's a route running threat. He's got fucking hands. I mean, he can jump. He can move on a dime. If Hurts starts to fucking throw the ball, let's say 5 to 10 more targets a game, more than 50% of those are going directly towards Smith.
Yeah. I mean, we both like Mekhi Lemon, or we both like his training camp film where he's running without pads. He's capable.
I almost choked on my beer. Oh my god.
But DeVonta Smith is he could be a superstar. I mean, he's a Heisman winner. The kid is a stud, and Jalen Hurts has.
That 2020 season was nothing to blink about.
Yeah. You know, he could be. He could play. Kid could play. And
Alabama
and
boy.
Joe Patul is gone, so they might have a real offensive coordinator in the building. I just think the situation is so much better.
So you think the tushy pushy is right out the door? I'd fucking love to see that.
They're still doing the tushy pushy. Come on. But Jalen Hurts maybe 10 touchdowns instead of 15. You know, he had 8 last year. That might be the new normal, which is good. You know,
that is good. It puts more gameplay on the rest of the team, which we like to see. All right, number 3 on my list. I'm going to throw number 3 at DJ Moore, and leaving Chicago, going to Buffalo. It's going to be an interesting year. So, and I'm going to say that because, you know, Buffalo, Josh Allen, who the fuck else is he throwing to? Kincaid? Coleman didn't end up the way that they thought he was going to last year. He wasn't who they thought he'd be. Who's the other one?
Shakir.
Shakir. Yeah, I was going to call him Shakur. Shakir, downfield threat maybe. Sometimes in the red zone, he's not exactly what they thought he was going to be either. DJ Moore is going to fucking eat all of those targets. He is going to eat all of those targets. I don't care if Josh Allen, bless you, I don't care if Josh Allen has 18 rushing touchdowns next year and over 1,000 rushing yards. I still think if DJ Moore is going to eat all of those, eat all of those targets next year, I think he's going to get 10 touchdowns with 900 plus yards.
So you are drafting DJ Moore high.
Now, within reason, I will put him on the board. But I would like to see DJ Moore excel past what everybody else is thinking he's going to excel towards. I don't think anybody is thinking anything about him being in Buffalo because they were like, oh, what Buffalo do last year? They threw to Kincaid all the time. That's really all they did. Coleman, he had 1 or 2 games where he shined. Shakir had one game where he looked like he was actually a good football player. And I'm not trying to talk shit about Buffalo because the Bills have shown that they're good, but they've got a new head coach. They've got things that are moving. They're moving. Their offense is going to move into a different direction. Their defense is going to move into a different direction. With their offense moving, Josh Allen is still at the center. Who the fuck would you rather throw to DJ Moore than Josh Allen? He's never had a quarterback like this before. Caleb Williams is nothing to blink at, but he's not Josh Allen.
It's a hard thing to knock going to probably the best offense in the NFL. Or we'll call it top 5.
Top 3.
Yeah, I'm fine calling it the best. You're going to a premier quarterback with Josh Allen. If DJ Moore becomes his favorite target, which he probably will, there's value there. Is there a chance that Josh Allen spreads the ball around like he's been known to do? Yeah, but he did target Stephon Diggs like a madman when Stephon Diggs was there.
It's true.
So he might lock into him. There's a chance. There's definitely a chance. So is it a better situation than last year? 1,000%, because he doesn't have Luther Burden and Roman Dunze to compete with.
Correct. Or Loveland, for that matter.
Or Loveland, who could lead that Bears team in targets. We'll see. Did we do a prediction on that? Do you have Burden, Odunze, or Loveland leading that team in targets?
I think I said Burden.
Yeah, and I think I said Odunze, but it's definitely up in the air. It could be any one of the three.
I think I said, all right, Jack.
My next guy.
You got next.
My next guy, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk positively about the Jets. I'm going to say Garrett Wilson.
Ooh, that makes me feel good.
Oh, I just dropped out for a second. So Garrett Wilson has the best quarterback that he's had best quarterback that he's had since Geno Smith. And I'm not going to say that I love Garrett Wilson in terms of drafting him. Am I getting all choppy?
No, you're good. You're good.
Now. I'm in Portugal,
you're good.
Guys. Give me a break. Okay.
You're good.
So Garrett Wilson, I may not draft him because there's a chance that the Jets are tanking at the end of the year, but his situation is massively improved. So if you have any belief in the Jets, draft Garrett Wilson.
I will say he who must not be named is not going to be his main quarterback of the year. I think he who must not be named shows not the Seahawk colors, but shows the Raider colors and chooses to not play up to the par that we have seen him play to before. That being said, if Klubnik comes in early, that could be the game changer for Garrett Wilson. That could be when Garrett Wilson comes in and decides, you know what? Love the way Klubnik is playing. I'm his favorite target. It's going to be between him and Sadiq. Favorite target next year, no matter who the quarterback is, it's between Garrett Wilson and Sadiq. And Garrett Wilson is 9 times out of 10 wins that.
10 times out of 10. Garrett Wilson is a high-end talent.
Well, I mean, I think if Sadiq comes in and he's like the next Tony Gonzalez, that's a different story.
Do you think Kenyon Sadiq is the next Tony Gonzalez?
That's not what I said. I said if he is. I didn't say I thought he was. I said if he comes in as the next Tony Gonzalez, that's that 10th time out of 10. That's why I said 9 out of 10. Because you never know.
If you were to swap Garrett Wilson with Rashee Rice, Garrett Wilson's a first-round pick.
Dude, yeah.
He's a high-end talent.
Yeah.
But he's on the fucking Jets.
Shit happens.
All right, give me your next guy.
Next guy for me, Luther Burden. I think my number 2 on this list is Luther Burden, and it's he's in a great situation, and the whole reason being is because the guy that was just on this list at number 3, DJ Moore, is gone. With DJ Moore gone, there are 7 more targets a game that are going to be spread throughout those 3 guys that we talked about, Odunze, Loveland, and Burden. And I think Burden is going to be the one that I'm not going to call him the top dog because I think all of them are going to be so close within target projections that they could really, any 3 of them could be called the top dog. They're just going to be the dogs on that team. So I'm excited to see where he goes. I think he's in a great situation because of Moore being gone. And with Caleb Williams as his quarterback, if Caleb Williams has over a 4,000-yard year, Luther Burden could go the fuck off.
Absolutely. If one of those guys wins the QB wide receiver competition, like if one of them becomes the pure alpha, yeah, I'm tripping over my words. I see that smirk, Jeff. They really could be a high-end fantasy asset, and my bet is on Burden or Loveland, but it could be any one of the 3 of them. So draft Bears players because that offense is probably going to take a big step forward.
It's going to be a hot offense. They're going to have a very good year this year. They're going to have a very good year.
I would be flabbergasted if Caleb does not throw over 4,000 yards.
Well, that's exactly why I said that. So we were talking about the Jaguars, and I said they had 4 guys on that team that could all catch for 800-plus yards in a season, in the same season. This team's got 3 guys that could all catch for 800-plus yards in the same season.
I would say you could put all 3 of them over 1,000.
In the same year?
I have them at 900, 1,000, and 900.
Okay, so the only reason that I'm saying 800 across the board for all 3, and this is like minimum would be 800. I don't see Odunze doing much more.
Yeah, that's fair. But before he got hurt last year, he was on pace for like 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, we've had this conversation already. We've already gone there with that. That was in another podcast that we talked about that, and it was when you were trying to shit on Burden, and I wasn't going to allow it, and I'm not going to allow it this time because I don't think Odunze surpasses that 800 to 900 yard, even if he has a full healthy season, specifically because of what Burden showed at the end of the year last year and what Caleb Williams showed through towards Burden. It showed in those last 7 games of the year last year, his favorite targets were Loveland and Burden. So
Absolutely.
If that continues on into this next year, Loveland and Burden are both going to have a lot of weight on their backs with the amount of targets that they're about to get from our boy Caleb.
Let me give you a hypothetical, though. Say instead of like 4,000 yards, Caleb throws for like 4,600. What do you think then? Then is it possible? Because right now I have him projected for 41, and I don't know where the yards go if it's not to those.
This is going to be so we were in a 16-man league last year, right? The starting tight end that at least one person had was Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
If Caleb Williams throws for over 4,500 yards next year, and I'm talking quietly because I want everybody to listen. If Caleb Williams throws for over 4,500 yards in this upcoming football season in the NFL, I would like to say here and now that I think Cole Kmet is going to have the best year of his entire career.
As tight end 2.
As tight end 2.
All right. Put it in the books, baby. All right. So the last guy that I'm going to go for being in a better situation, and Jeff, listen very carefully to this one, is Drake Maye.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Drake Maye was the fantasy QB2 last year with Stephon Diggs as his wide receiver 1. You're adding A.J. Brown, Romeo Doubs, and a real tackle in Caleb Lomu. So his situation is much better. If you're talking about schedule, I'll hear the criticism, but his team around him has vastly improved.
He's not going to do good unless he throws everything to A.J. Brown, because if A.J. Brown doesn't get everything, all he's going to do is complain.
Diva A.J. Brown. All right, you got one more better situation. Let's hear it, Jeff.
The last but not least, the only thing that I'll say about this guy is that if he can stay healthy, there's nobody else on this team that's going to get more of a workload than he is as far as the receiving targets go. Mark Andrews on the Baltimore Ravens. If Mark Andrews comes into this season healthy and he stays healthy for more than 80% of the year, I could see old Mark Andrews coming right back into fucking play and him putting himself on that TE 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 list. I think he can sneak in very easily if he stays healthy because, like we've talked about before, aside from Zay Flowers on that team, you're looking at a bunch of younger guys and a rookie to take the rest of those targets. If, with Isiah likely gone and a possible healthy Mark Andrews, he can take the fuck off and win all of those other targets over all of those other guys.
This is why I feel comfortable waiting on tight end, because he's basically going undrafted, and I have him as tight end 7.
Don't sleep on Mark Andrews. If he's healthy this year, which I think he's going to be, he's coming to play. There's really nothing else that you can say because he's Isiah likely gone, Harbaugh gone. Who's Lamar going to throw to? Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews.
And do yourself a favor. Go to Mark Andrews' like Pro Football Stats page and take a look at his stats. It's stupid. I mean, I don't have it up right now, but it's like 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns. It's like multiple years over 1,200 yards. The guy used to be a stud, and he still knows how to play. So it's a fun gander. Go to that page. It's a good one. All right, let's move on to worse situations. And Jeff, this is why I wanted to trim down the show before we jumped on, because we got to freaking rush through this one.
Yeah, I know. We like to talk. Why don't we just stick to our? Why don't we just stick to the top two worst situations?
Sounds good. Go for it.
All right. So my number 2 worst situation right now, and 2 years ago I was very high on this guy. Went to the Browns, ended up having a pretty good year. His first year with the Browns. Last year, didn't really have a pretty good year. Didn't even have anything that was pretty at all. Jerry Jeudy is in a bad situation on the Browns right now. And, I mean, Jeff, it's the Cleveland Browns. Everybody's on a bad situation in the Cleveland Browns. Dylan Gabriel's a nobody. I understand that. But what I'm going to say is they just got 2 rookie wide receivers on that team, and they have Harold Fannin. And they have Judkins. And Sanders, he can move. He can run. He's got some legs on him. Dylan Gabriel can also move. So I just don't see
Dylan Gabriel on the show.
Dude, listen, he's gonna get me one of your draft picks, so I don't really give a shit. I don't see Jerry Jeudy going above and beyond. He was great when he was on the Broncos. He was your boy when he was on the Broncos. His first year on the Browns, he proved himself to me. Last year, he wasn't really much to squawk about. And I'm going to say he's going to be even less to squawk about unless he pulls his head out of his ass this year. And he's proven that he can do stuff before, but the way that he looked last year and the 2 rookies that they brought in Concepcion and I believe Boston.
Yep.
Those 2 guys are right off the rip fighting for that wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 spot. Because in my opinion, behind Harold Fannin as their tight end, that whole entire fucking wide receiver slot is open.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy is one of my boys, so I'm not going to say anything negative about him, but
he's not a Seahawk. Fuck you.
I will not be drafting him.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I think across the board, everybody feels the exact same way. And he could prove everybody wrong because he is capable of it, but I just don't see it happening.
I'd rather take a shot on one of the rookies.
Young blood. Yeah, they're coming in. I think they're going to come in hot and they're going to do a lot better than what their projections are showing.
High draft capital. I mean, first or both second round picks or first and second round pick. They paid up for them, and you expect them to try to get them the ball. The first guy that I'm going to talk about, the GOAT, Matt Stafford.
Go Dogs.
And go Dogs. Jeff is ready to explode hearing me say that. But you got to look at that team and tell me what got better from last year.
What got worse?
Puka Nacua is currently in rehab, or currently recently out of rehab. DeVonta Adams is 1 year older. You know they want to run the ball. And then the most underrated thing about that team getting worse in terms of fantasy is the defense got way better. You add Myles Garrett, you add 2 stud corners in McDuffie and Jalen, what's his name? The other guy from the Chiefs. That defense is going to be significantly better, which
with
means
a good defense, wouldn't you think the offense would be on the field more with a good defense?
But they're going to run the ball, and that'll take the ball out of the hands of 38-year-old Matt Stafford.
I don't like the way you said 38. but I understand why you said it that way.
History of serious back injuries. 38-year-old Matt Stafford to go.
He's running it back, man. He said it during his MVP speech. He's here to run it back. He's oh man, I can't say enough about the guy. But I would say this: he's got a lovely family. He's got a lovely team that he's on, and I would take freshly out of rehab Puka Nacua over not freshly out of rehab Jerry Jeudy any day. So
Okay, well, you won't get me to disagree on that. And Matt Stafford, great dad, by the way. So you're loved here on this podcast.
yeah,
Jeff
of
was
course.
here.
He's got 3 girls, right? He's got 3. Or is it 4?
3 or 4, yeah. He's great girl dad, and
He's
yeah,
he's somebody that we both look up to as far as dads go. So
yes.
he's an amazing human being. Who do you got next, Jackie? Who do you got next? We'll
I'll
go to
roll
your
it right.
next. We'll do your
I'll
next
roll
one,
it.
and then we'll do my last one.
Yeah, I'll roll right into Jonathan Taylor. Stud of a player. Do not spend a top 5 pick on Jonathan Taylor in 2026 until you hear what the coaching staff said. They said that they must pull back, and look up the quote, they must pull back his workload to keep him healthy. His volume is half of what kept him elite. So does that make him a first round pick if he's getting less volume? He doesn't have the receiving game. Tell me what you think.
He's right up there with CMC for me. He's a great fantasy football guy. He's going to go in the first round no matter what, same as CMC. But that high injury possibility it's a little you won't be seeing me take him. I have the first overall pick in our league anyway, so he definitely won't be going there anymore. I'm not against seeing him go in the first round because I think it's not a bad pick. But those top five picks, you don't want to. I mean, I'm the guy that'll fucking throw it. Fuck it, let's go rookie overall. Who cares? But you don't want to. Ah, man, I'm like tripping over my words because it's that high risk, but it's that high risk to a point of injury risk, and it's not to the point of just like risking it all to whether or not he's going to do well or he's not going to go or do well because it's so much unknown. But it's hard for me to say anything bad about him because I've had him before. He's done well. He's a great fucking superstar. It's just that high injury risk is one of those things that you're like, a top 5 pick, you don't want to fucking waste it on something like that. And I say waste it, but it's wasted if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, he had 323 touches last year, over 300 the year before. If that goes down to 250, I mean, he's a second round pick.
Yeah, I mean,
which is great. Yeah,
high
which is great.
second round.
Don't
Top 5 in the second, but
I'll be taking Omarion Hampton over him.
Yeah, I would probably be doing that as well. All right, so my next guy. I got 3 other guys I got to choose from here on this. You know what? Fuck, we're going to go all the way. Isiah Pacheco is going to be a nobody in fantasy football from here on out in his career.
I'm going to agree with the concept behind that. The only possible qualifier that I could say is Jahmyr Gibbs gets hurt.
It would have to be a huge injury.
It'd have to be a big injury because does anybody out there think that Isiah Pacheco is a top tier talent, or was he just the best guy on the team?
Dude, Clyde Hiller-Edwards, you don't think he was better than him? Come on. Don't say this. And so the Chiefs had all.
Stats would tell you that Clyde Edwards-Helaire sucks.
Dude, the way that I look at it is that since Hunt left the only time, since Hunt left, that one time that he left that team, and
he left again. He's not on the team right now, so technically
he's not on the team right now. I thought he was still on the team. All right, so when Hunt left the first time, every single running back that they've had since then has been dog shit compared to what he produced.
Facts.
Complete dog shit compared to what he produced.
Yeah.
and I don't Pacheco behind Gibbs. He's replacing Montgomery. It's a fucking joke.
All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, we'll say David Montgomery is a 7. I'll be generous. What's Isiah Pacheco?
Oh my god! If Montgomery's a 7, Pacheco's like a 3. He's not going to do well. I don't see.
Harsh.
Yeah, I just don't see. I just don't. I'm not a Chiefs guy. I'm not big on the Chiefs. I think people took Isiah Pacheco too high for the last couple of years. He's not. He's never proven himself. He's on the Chiefs. He's going to do great because he's on the Chiefs. When the fuck is he going to do great? That Pat Mahomes likes to throw the ball. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm a fucking fantasy god because I've never won in our league before, but I've made the playoffs like twice. But what I will say is Isiah Pacheco is not going to show what Montgomery showed with the fucking Lions. I don't even know why the Lions would have gone for him in the first place. You got rid of a guy who could have easily gotten 700 yards every season behind Gibbs, who's going to go over 1,200 every year. This guy is going to get maybe 3.
Yeah, let's see what I have him for. I have him for. I was generous. I gave him 600. I'm probably going to be changing that. I'll probably be moving it down because you're right. I mean, he's just not that good. The only reason he's going to touch the ball is because Jahmyr Gibbs needs to take a break.
Yeah. You need a 4th down guy every once in a while.
Yep. Okay, so let's move into predictions and wrap this shit up. Who will have the most total receiving yards in 2026? Garrett Wilson with Geno Smith or DeVonta Smith?
DeVonta Smith.
Okay, we both agree on that one. Here's another one. Jonathan Taylor, over under 13 and a half rushing touchdowns. He had 18 last year and 18 in his rookie year.
Under.
Where do you have him at?
10.
Wow, low. And finally, here's a fun one. More yards. Brock Bowers receiving or Ashton Jeanty rushing?
That's an interesting one. We'll say Jeanty at 1,250, Bowers at 1,200.
Oh, close.
Keep that.
I have Bowers at 1,299 and Jeanty at 1,185. So also pretty close.
It's still close. Yeah, it's going to be a toss up between the two of them, but I think both of them are about to have great years.
I think so. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping the Raiders have a little resurgence. All right, Jeff. Let's wrap this shit up. It's 1 a.m. I am ready to go to bed.
Jackie's got to go to sleep. I'm ready to go watch some TV. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night.
Peace.